Okay. Hi, everybody. How y'all doing tonight? My name is Ricky. I'm an alcoholic addict and an overcomer. And tonight, I just want to talk about the principles and talk about how to recover. And I want to put out a challenge to you because of the simple fact, if we start looking at the statistics that they talk about, the statistics about staying clean, staying in recovery doesn't look good. But that's our job, is to come in and share our best with you to help you change those statistics and help you to become the person that you have in your mind to become. And even with what we share, it's to help you to understand that there is a better way than what the ways that have been tried. Because everything that you know about recovery got you to where you are right now. Now, everything that's going to keep you in recovery is new. Whether you've done this 100 times or tried this 100 times, you got to move forward. You got to do something new. You got to, it's like having to turn around and go back to school and learn from, when you was in kindergarten till you was in the first grade, all the way to the 12th grade, to relearn all of that all over again, because there's a simple process. Is what got me to where I'm at is all the things that are running in my head. Want to just let you know that what got me to where I am is all the stuff that's running in my head. I started this journey back in May the 26th, 1987. And did I do it right the whole time? Nope. Did I go back out? Nope. Did I want to commit suicide? Yep. Did I think this thing wasn't gonna work? Yep. Did I try to do it my way? Yep. See, so I can stand here and tell y'all, give you all of that great information. But see, the choice is yours. Because when you're ready to do what we're going to talk about tonight, you got to make one choice and one choice only. Do I want to do it? Am I willing to go? Here's the question. Am I willing to go to any length to stay clean? Am I willing to go to any length to get past this sin issue? Because see, here's the thing about the struggle by coming to overcome. We don't deal with just the alcohol and the drugs. We deal with all the sin problems that we have. Because see, you might be done overcome your drinking. You might be done overcome your addiction. You might be done overcome those things. But there's some more other things. Because see, once you jump into the thing they call recovery, the change in your life and your mind and all of that, then you start unpeeling the onion. Because what got you to where you are is you started building an onion. You started building stuff. You had this one little problem. Huh? You wanted to fit in. Because that was what I did. I wanted to fit in. So I started drinking so I could fit in. And then the guys and folks and the people I started hanging with were doing a little bit more than just drinking. And I said, I'm riding around in high school in a car full of guys smoking weed, saying I ain't gonna never smoke weed. They smoking weed and got the windows rolled up. What you think I was doing? I was just as high as they was and sitting there and just telling myself a lie. All I'm gonna do is drink. See, somebody asked me last week, well, what was my drug of choice? And I gave them a quick, honest answer. Because see, when it got to that point where I finally had to I got to the end of my road, it came to, the answer was what you got. It didn't matter what you had. It didn't matter what you was doing. It was what you got. And then, I didn't even ask if you had enough to share with me. It's what you got. Hmm? And I didn't care if you got any of it or not. It was what you got. And I come into recovery and I'm trying to figure out how to stay clean for one day and all this here. And they start talking about, are you willing to go to any length to get it? Are you willing to follow some directions? And I smiling and confident, yes. Lying through my teeth. I want to tell you, I wanted to make, I had a problem called people pleasing, telling you what you wanted to hear so I could get what you had. And I started running with some folks that was doing that life-changing thing. They was doing what we call transformation. Because see, here's the thing. If you think you just coming to change some things in your life, then you won't make it. That's the challenge. Because see, the question is, we're going back to the question. What's the question? Huh? Can somebody tell me what the question was?
Well,
are you willing to go to any length to get this thing called recovery from whatever it is that you're dealing with? Because see, some folks think all I got to do is get over my drinking. Well, when I quit drinking, I still was lying, cheating, and stealing. Huh? I wanted to get over my drugging. When I quit drugging, I was still lying, cheating, and stealing. Then I had to start looking at all these other things that I was still doing that I needed to get, that started becoming a problem that I needed to work through. See? And when I had to look at those things, it made me take a look, and I had to step in there and say, well, what am I going to do? I got to work on these things, and that means I have to start looking at who I am. That's where the steps come in. That's where when we start working the steps, there's a lot of folks. I'm a good church-going member, good servant in the church, working and all of that stuff. But here's one of the things I found out. Because see, the one thing I found out when I started cleaning up all of this other stuff and doing the 12 steps and all of that, and I kept trying to figure out why was there something that's missing. Now I finally got the God of my understanding. I'm finally doing the steps. I'm helping others and all of that, but there was something still missing. Because see, what I was doing was just doing. I didn't have a relationship. I said I found God, the God of my understanding. But the problem with that was I didn't have a relationship with that God. And see, because I still had in the back, because see, number one thing, I'll have to tell y'all this right quick. The number one thing I had to do was fire the committee. Because the committee was still trying to run the show. The committee in my head was still trying to tell me they know the better way. And the only thing I know that the committee has ever tried to do for me was to kill me. Was to put me in all those situations. Join the Navy so I can go see the world. And I went to the world and tried to drink it and do drugs in every part of the world. I can say I almost did. Do it in every part of the world. But I didn't stay long enough to get to Australia or to South America, but I got to go all over Europe. I didn't make it to Russia and Japan. Those are the only places I ain't been. But see, now I want to go to those places for different reasons. Not the reasons that I was going before, but different reasons now, because I got a new attitude, a new look at life. Because see, the thing of it is, when I started changing that, when I started doing what I told y'all, I started hanging with those guys that were doing transformation, not just changing, that transformation. Because see, they was living this deal. See, it's real good to talk this deal. It's real good to say I'm doing the 12 steps. going to meetings and I got a sponsor and all of this here. And I go to church and I serve on this board and that board and I run the sound at the church. I run the video and I'm singing in the choir and all of this. It's real good to say you're doing all of that. But see, if you hadn't let this thing be part of your life, which transforms you into that person, that the one that created you. Because see, we have to really look at who really created us. You know, we think it's just mom and daddy because they had a real good time, you know, and see, it took until my dad passed before I even found out who he was. Then I found out he got a whole nother group of people that I'm just now trying to get to know. Thank you, Ancestry, for helping me find those folks and start connecting with them. You know, because see, the simple fact of it is, trying to live life on life's terms has consequences. Now, trying to live life on God's terms has consequences. I come to more enjoy living life on God's terms more than living life on my terms, because, like I told you, me and my committee, we was all about destroying me, destroying you, destroying anything and everything around us, because we affected everything around us. And today, it's about turning that around and doing something totally different. You know, I got one of the pamphlets talking about the 12 steps. It says, living by spiritual principles. Each of the 12 steps has one or more undefined principles associated with that step. The 12 steps exhorts us to practice these principles in all our affairs. Now, if you can't practice them in all your affairs, you might have one or two many affairs going on. But we want to practice these principles in all our, you notice I threw in there transformation more than just about change, because it's about transforming from where you are to where you want to be. But see, in that transformation, if you really do the transformation the way it's designed to be done, and the way those that showed me how to be done, I went way past what I thought I could do. Because see, all I thought I could do was just stop drinking and drugging and when they said productive member of society, I could get a job and be able to pay my bills. That's it. I didn't have no dreams that I could be able to go cruising and go see different places and go fly different places and hang out and be able to do all those different things. See, I didn't even have the idea that I'd be able to find the love of my life and we'd be married 20-something years. I didn't have none of those dreams because I hadn't drank and drugged those dreams all the way up. So I was just so glad just to be alive. Because at 31, I knew I wasn't finna make it to 32. And I was surprised I made it to 31. Because see, on May, and back right before my birthday, which was May the 20th, I said, I told a friend of mine, I said, if I can't stop on my birthday, then I'm gonna have to go get me some help. Well, my birthday came and gone. I told y'all my sobriety date is the 26th. It took 6 days to get there, to get to that point where I go get some help. But see, here's the deal on that. If you take a look back at the last time, what was it that made you get to that point that said, I need to stop? Don't ever let that leave from the front of your mind. Because see, I was at that point. It was either find a new way to live or die. recovery program saying that we have jails, institutions, and death. Well, I hadn't been to jails and institutions, so what else was left? And that's all I was looking at. Fear was the #1 driver that got me to stay here. That's how come I can say I didn't go back out there. Because I did do all those other crazy stuff, try and run it my way. They say don't go to the bar. I found myself hanging around in the bar, and then after a couple of times of going to the bar, it just didn't feel right. Because see, I didn't realize there was this thing called transformation happening. See, I'm trying to drive home something to you. Because see, if you're really ready to do something new, then you're ready to do some things differently. Now, it goes back to that same statement that I asked at the beginning. Are you willing to go to any length to get what we have? To get what we have to offer? I remember when I first got clean and I was going to meetings and stuff, and I listened to those old timers who had 30-some years and 40 years and listening to them, and I was saying that they lied. Because see, I can look around here and look at y'all and say, some of y'all say, well, he lying. He know how, because see, all of them, I knew they all had a little paint or something stashed away that they just took a little nip of just enough to get by on and then present themselves. Because see, I had, my whole life had been trying to put on this facade for so long. But see, I didn't realize that they were being genuine. I told you I joined the group that took me on a journey of transformation. I didn't run with those that I seen out there, because see, they would go, come back, go, come back. I was too scared to run with them. So I hung with them that kept showing up, kept coming back every day, every meeting, kept showing up, kept talking about how their lives were changing and what they had to do for that to change, what they had to give up, what they had to start doing differently. That's the thing I started growing closer to. That's the thing I'm trying to share with you today, because there's a different way to live life. If you're ready to live life, there's a different way to live. And what's going through your head right now won't even bring you anywhere close to what that dream is. You can, right now, I can give everybody in here a piece of paper and tell them to write down their wildest dream and go after it. And then on top of that, when I say write down your wildest dream and you go after it, we go after it the way God wants you to go after it. Go after it the way God has put inside of you to go after it. But see, here's the thing is, if you got a problem with God, how can you go after it the way God done put it in you? You got to get past that problem. If you don't have a relationship with him, how can you go after it with his help if you don't have a relationship with him? See, these are the things that we have to look at in ourselves so that we can get to that point, because there's a greater call on everybody's life that's here. Because if you think about it, how many people that you know did what you did but are not here anymore? Huh? They didn't even do as much as you did, and they dead and gone. Huh? And also, here's another thing. Look at how much stuff you got away with that other folks are locked up for less than. See, #1 thing is you got to understand that you're blessed. But see, if you come in this, if you're looking at this thing like I did for a long time, they kept telling me I was blessed, and I didn't believe them. Because see, I still didn't believe that I was good enough. Even in doing recovery, I didn't believe I was good enough. Even walking through the steps, I didn't believe I was good enough. Even in helping other people walk through the steps and get this deal, I still didn't believe I was good enough. That's why I'm standing up here today, to let you know that no matter what you done went through, there's others that done went through that and more and recovered. Whatever sin problem that is that you're dealing with, there's a way out. There's somebody that can share something that can help you walk out of that if you're willing to listen. If you're willing to do the work that it takes to come out of it. If you're willing to hang around and have an open mind, if you're willing to be honest with yourself, if you're willing to do the work that it takes to change. Because once you start changing and it becomes a habit and you keep on changing, then your life starts changing too. And the things that happen around you. See, I can ride down the road now. Used to ride down the road, I'm always looking for a police car. And when I see one coming up behind me, fear rose from all the way from my toes, all the way to the top of my head, now shivering. What I done now? Huh? And then once they pass me, I'm fine for a minute. But I'm still watching. Is he going down here to turn around and wait for me? Huh? My mind is already racing that they finna throw me in jail for something. But see, nowadays, it is, I'm going down the road and they come by me and I wave at them. How you doing? I ain't got fear, because see, guess what? Number one thing, I ain't doing the stuff that I need to be worried about to get caught. I'm not doing the stuff today that's gonna put me in that jeopardy that I need to be watching out, that I got somebody ready to come after me because I done something to them. And now they got vengeance coming after me. Like I did when I was still drinking. I was living in a little town called Palestine. Guy stole my lighter and moved to Dallas. I moved to Dallas just to come find him. And y'all think y'all done some crazy stuff. I can tell you some stories, but see, that's not my department to tell you the stories, because see, then all I'm doing is glorifying the mess and not bringing you the message. The message today is I have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. A seamless, hopeless state that has transformed into the man you see standing here today. Because what God has put in my life today, I couldn't even, 20 years ago, I couldn't even dream of it. I was in recovery and still couldn't dream of it like that. Huh? Matter of fact, when it started, I'm gonna tell y'all this here real quick. When all this stuff started changing in my life like it has in the last 15 years, it has blown me away. Because I still didn't believe that I was worthy of any of that, but I was willing to do what it took to be in position for it. Because see, how much work did you do to try and get whatever it was, to do whatever it was that has brought you to this point that you got a problem with it? Now you say, I got to do something different, but you don't want to put the work in. That's the challenge. Are you ready to put the work in? If you go and write down your dream right now, and you're ready to put the work in, I guarantee you can get it. That and more. I guarantee it. Because see, I didn't even put in half the work that it took to get the dream that I had when I was a little kid, and still got bigger dreams coming. Huh? Because they say if you aim for nothing, you'll hit it every time. But see, when you start cleaning up and your life starts changing, then you can start looking for something higher and greater. You can go for it. It gets better. But the thing of it is that we have to be willing. Now, in this here, when it says these simple 12 steps and their principles are now the basis for the recovery of literally millions of alcoholics, addicts, compulsive gamblers, sex addicts, liars, cheaters, stealers. Whatever it is you got a problem with, put that in there, and you'll know that these principles will change your life. Yes, sir.
Sir, let's see, my name is Hector. Have you ever had a spiritual awakening? Have you ever experienced a spiritual awakening? Have you ever experienced that?
Haven't had a result of these 12 steps. Yes. It's different for everybody. It's different. But to get to what you're trying to talk, where you're trying to get to, it's some work got to be done. There's some things you got to go through. See, you got to be just like a baby. You got to take some steps to get there. Step one, we admitted we were powerless. Over whatever it is you're powerless over. I was powerless over that judge. I was powerless over that policeman. I was powerless over that state trooper. I was powerless over that jailer. I was powerless over all those other folks, that said, you owe us, because I done borrowed their money, and now they come to collect their stuff that I done went and bought because I didn't pay for it. I had to sit in those jail cells because I wouldn't pay for the tickets that I hadn't got driving down the road. Some of them have, when I first got them, if I'd have went and paid $10, the ticket would have been gone. But when they finally took me to jail, it had got up to $200-300. I had one ticket. They came from El Paso to Lancaster, picked me up, took me all the way back to El Paso. Then I had to find my way back. And guess how long I stayed in jail? Long enough to eat a sandwich, go before the judge, and the judge say, time served. It cost me everything because now I got to go find me another job. Because I lost my job. Why? Because I didn't show up for work. Why? Because I was in jail. Why? Because I done something wrong. That's what we have to look at in our lives. Because see, the more we look at all the things that we've done wrong, the more we're gonna keep doing the wrong things. Because if I'm focusing on the problem increases. When I focus on the solution increases. Let me say that one more time so that it might sink in. If I'm focusing on the problem will increase. If I'm focusing on the solution will increase. So which one you want to look at the most? So why I want to keep focusing on the problem? Because see, whenever I go to talk about the steps, and they say, tell what it was like, what happened, what it's like now. And I get up there and say, I drank, I got drunk, and I got in trouble. That's my drunk alarm. If I go to NA meeting, I got high, I got in trouble. That's my story. Bottom line, I did drugs, I got high, I got in trouble. Today, my story is, I get up, I trust God. Because number one, I get up and I pray. Number two, I break open my Bible. Number three, call somebody. Number four, make a meeting. Number five, before I go to bed, pray again. They told me if I'd done those 5 things every day, I never had to go backwards. I got the concept of it, started doing it, You know, and I'm real good. Whenever I start doing something and start working real good, I'm good at stopping. I want to share with you, if you like me, if you're anywhere like me, and it start working real good, don't stop, because you have just come to breaking the iceberg. Hmm? You hadn't even got down to the major nitty gritty. Cause see, that if you want to get to that point that this guy was asking about, then you got to push through a bunch of stuff. You got to deal with a bunch of things in your life. You got to get past all of those things, especially those things that you keep saying, ain't nobody gonna like me because I did this here. Guess what? A lot of folks don't even know you did it. And the only way they don't know you did it is you start telling them. Or it comes up, they flash your face on the news because you did it, and now they got you on America's Most Wanted. Huh? I tried to stay off of there. Almost got there, but you know, due to the fact that God finally pushed me into a place called recovery and started changing my life and put me around a bunch of people that showed me how to do transformation, change. Because see, all I wanted to do is just change a few things. See, really, when I stopped drinking and drugging, all I wanted to do is learn how to save money, keep my job, and pay my bills, and have a little fun every now and then. Guess what? I learned all of that, and I was able to do all of that today, but it's a whole lot different than what I thought it was. You know, because see, in the back of my head, I thought I could have me a drink or two every now and then. I could smoke me a blunt every now and then. Huh? But see, I told y'all I got with some folks that showed me how to transform. They showed me how to have a happy life, how to have fun. You know, it was crazy the first time I ever went bowling and not having a beer in my hand while I was trying to bowl. I could figure out how come the ball kept going this way and that way, you know, when I throwed it down the lane. Now, before all I could do was just laugh. Well, they just decided to go where they wanted to go. No, I was too drunk to guide the ball. I was too high to make sure that it went straight down the lane. I still ain't good at bowling, but you know, that was one of those fun things to get out there, do something. Huh? To do something, to get out there and just to be part of something. But to see, here's the thing. In the process, thank you, sir. In the process of doing the work and watching the transformation from the inside out, because like I told y'all, I didn't think I was good enough to be living this life that I'm living now. But see, today I know I am good enough. You know why I know I'm good enough? I told you about building a relationship with God. And he told me I was good enough. And if he said it, that's the end of it. It's all settled. Settled and done. Because he believes that you're good enough. Huh? No matter what happened. You know, because see, I have to tell the story about when I was real young and in church and heard two ladies of the church, the mothers of the church, one of them was supposed to be my step grandmother, and they said, you know, that boy ain't gonna be nothing. You know, he's one of them bastard children. He ain't gonna be nothing, no matter what. And I've lived my life trying to prove them wrong in the wrong way. So in my mind, I kept proving them right. There's something in your mind that you kept doing the wrong way. And you find that you think that it's the right way and it's not. Okay? Because see, if I let God show me the right way, if I let the God of my understanding, Jesus Christ, because that's who we talk about here, and overcomes Jesus Christ. If I let him show me the way, then there's a whole different light I can see. Because now I allow him to let the Spirit, his Spirit that he says he gives, that comforter he talks about, he gives us, to enter into my life and change and have dominion. Because see, when I surrendered, it means I had to give up everything. Not just, I'm going to give up these couple of things over here, and I'm going to keep these. Because I tried to make that bargain with God. It didn't work. He said, I want all. Not some, all. Every bit, every piece of you. And see, one thing I found out is I don't have to be in charge. Step one says we admitted we were powerless. That means I am powerless over anything and everything in my life. And my life had become unmanageable. And I'm still trying to manage my life. How many of y'all still trying to manage your life? And your life is what? So now you got to move to step two. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore to what? What sanity mean? Sanity means you are insane. Insane means you are crazy. Insane means you are making choices that are not productive for you. Have I missed the mark yet? Because I said that one time in a meeting, and God said, I'm making the right choices. I said, okay. I asked him to tell me some of those choices. He told me. Every last one of them took him to destruction. Because he believed that he could still go and still do some of the stuff that he was doing before. But see, if you like me, one ain't enough. I see, in the 12-step program, they say 1 is too many, 1,000 never enough. See, and see, you notice what I just said? One ain't enough. Huh? Still had that addictive personality. One ain't enough. And so now I got to work on changing that one ain't enough in every area. See? Because normally I'd have, instead of 1 cup of coffee up here, I have 2 or 3 up here to drink on. One ain't enough. See? So when we look at how we done moved in our lives and the things that are happening in our lives, see, we come to step 3. Anybody know what step 3 says? Nobody? Make it this. Okay. Let's see. That's not it. I got to get this straight after pamphlet because I might get it wrong because I might have been wrong on the other 2. Because see, that's the thing about it. See, when you listen to somebody, go back and check out what they're talking about. Because see, I done told y'all about the transformation. Guess what? All those people who was showing me how to transform, I had to check them out. Because see, number one, I didn't believe them. I didn't think it would work for me, so I had to go check them out. I watched them. I had one sponsor, I'd go spend hours at his house watching him and his family interact together before I trusted him to help me through the steps. Then when folks come running up to me telling me about my sponsor, I say, well, the day you said that was he and I was over here, we were doing this. No, so how can he be over there doing that? What you saying he was doing when he and I was together? Now I'm listening to what you say he did, but I'm telling you what I seen him do at that same time. Cause see now I took away the excuses and I took away the lies. Why? Because sometimes you be trying to clean up, and there's others that don't want you to, and they in recovery with you. They talking the same talk you talking. Huh? They saying they walking the same walk you walking. But they foot is not landing like yours landing. Huh? Their results are not ending up the same as yours. Huh? Because see, if you have to go back out there, it's because you made a choice. Remember this. If you go back out there after getting the information that I'm sharing with you tonight, after being in treatment and hearing all the other people talk about that you don't have to go back out there, now it becomes a choice. Am I gonna let my body tell me I gotta go back out there? Am I gonna let my mind tell me I gotta go back out there? Am I gonna let my emotions tell me I gotta go back out there? Huh? Am I gonna let other people tell me I gotta go back out there? Cause see, my number one thing they taught me is I gotta change people, places, and things. So I gotta change everything in order for my life to get into that period of transformation. Because they said if you're willing to go to any length to get what we got, you got to do a whole bunch of things that are gonna help you get there, and so that you can get to that point. Cause see, once you start down this journey, you get to that point where you have that spiritual awakening and know that there's even more that you can do, huh? That you can go share with people. Cause see, what I'm sharing with y'all is really, they told me a long time ago, make sure you share so at least one of y'all walk away from now with something. And I hope y'all walk away from here with something. But guess what? I know one person is gonna walk away here with something. You know how I know? Huh? Have you ever heard a preacher be standing up there preaching and says he has to live it first before he can present it to the congregation? It comes to the hearer first before it goes to him passing it out. I can stand up here and tell y'all a bunch of stuff, but see, if I'm not doing it, guess what? Number one, I would be standing up here, but there's something that can pull that off. They can talk the talk and not walk the walk. I had a bunch of them as friends. I used to go when they called me from the dope house and said, "Come get me." I go rescue them. You know, end up at the dope house and dope man got a gun in my face, talking about what do you want? I said, "I'm coming to get." They called me to come get them. Well, they don't want to go right now. See, at that time, I had this suit that I used to wear. It was called Superman. So when I come up there and they put the gun in my face, I just push the gun out the way and push them out the way and go on in and get who I was coming to get. Because I was Superman. Then somebody shared with me one day how big of a fool I was. You're still trying to do it your way and not God's way. And so, oh, okay. And when I started doing it God's way, and they called and I said, well, when you get out of there, I'll see you back at the group. See, doing it God's way doesn't have me as the fool. Doesn't have me standing there in front of somebody who's ready to pull a 12 gauge on you and pull the trigger. Doing it God's way has you in a better, safer environment. Even though there's really no place that you can be safe, but see, he puts a hedge of protection around you. You know, those are the things I know today. If I allow him to be in charge, you know. And we was talking about step 3. You said we made a decision to what? Turn our will and our lives over to care of God as we understood it. I want to let y'all know when you start doing this and you get an understanding. If you keep working on that, it grows, it builds, but you got to get that understanding. So, did we have somebody in here that's?
Yes.
Now, I want to stop right here and say, huh?
I guess, have a desire to be baptized this month?